everyone, welcome to Nurse Ratchet.
Hello.
My name is Georgia.
And I'm Olivia.
There might be a little fan sound. Olivia's having a hot flush. We need to address it, okay? Anyway, so today we're doing Jane Toppin. It's going to be in two parts because of the length of it, but I just felt a call to talk about Lake and Riley. So, yeah, we're just going to get into Jane Toppin and then do it over two parts.
Great.
So, yeah.
I have no idea who this lady is, so
Well,
I'm
tell
keen
you.
to know.
I'm going to fucking tell you.
Right.
And it's an old-timey tale. It's set in the 1800s, so it should be good fun. Anyway, today's episode is the first part of a two-part series, as I said, on one of the most famous and serial killers of all time. So I am surprised you haven't heard of her, darling.
No.
It's a 19th century tale of how an orphan-turned-indentured servant transformed herself into a mad scientist, sexually sadistic serial killer. So, trigger warning. This story contains depictions of sexual assault, childhood neglect, and, of course, murder, so please listen with caution. Jane Toppin was born as Honora Kelly in Boston, Massachusetts on March 31st in 1854. She's the youngest of three children born to Bridget Flynn and Peter Kelly, who was a chronic alcoholic prone to violent outbursts, and sources say he struggled with significant episodes of mental instability, whether that's undiagnosed mental illness or alcoholism, alcoholic-induced psychosis. It's unclear. However, he was known around town as Kelly the Crack, as in crackpot.
Oh, okay.
Kelly the Crack.
Fuck. Wow. But towns were small back then, I guess, weren't they?
Yeah.
So everyone knew everyone.
Talked, yeah. During one particular episode, he was rumoured to have one point used the tools at the tailor's he worked at to attempt to sew his eyes shut. His own eyes shut. So that gives you some sort of depiction of how much of a crackpot he actually was, or the degree of psychosis he was experiencing. Yeah. Like that screams psychosis to me.
Yeah, very
Trying to
acute.
sew your own eyes shut. Like, hectic. Anyway, Bridget died, the mother, of TB, leaving the children in the care of Kelly the Crack. After 3 years of neglect, he eventually gave up on the parenting and gave away the two youngest children, 8-year-old Delilah and 6-year-old Honora Kelly, to an orphanage called the Boston Female Asylum.
He's the one that should be in the fucking asylum.
Yeah. Later renamed to the Boston Society to the Care of Girls. That's a better name, isn't it?
Less demeaning.
Yeah. It was a charitable organisation to care for orphaned children, or was it? Dun, dun, dun. They basically took one look at them and accepted them immediately. That's how neglected they were. Peter signed the papers and left and never saw them again. Wow. It's just like, here, have 2 children, bye. It wasn't a requirement of intake that they would never see them again, so I guess.
Oh, that makes sense.
This type of facility specifically took on young girls in order to train them into housemaids, and then when they turned 11, they gave them to wealthy or upper middle class households under an indented servitude, where the children would be basically maids for the family for a roof over their heads and food up until they were 18 years of age, where they would be given $50 severance or a new outfit.
To sell, probably, for that money that they so desperately need.
Fucked, isn't it?
Or maybe I wonder if an outfit would be like, that's how you go and get a job back in the... No, you don't get a job. You become a housewife.
An extra outfit, mate. It's just an outfit.
Oh, that's so gross.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Have a dress.
Child labour.
For, you know.
They would then either be asked to stay on as the family's unpaid maid for board and food, or be kicked out on their ass. So it's basically a facility to train vulnerable children up to become child slaves.
To groom them.
To pawn off to rich families for free. It's not an orphanage. It's a fucking child labour factory.
But it's advertised
as an orphanage.
Yeah. Okay.
Fucked up. Not much is known about the girl's time at the asylum. In November 1863, a woman named Anne Toppin came to attain a servant and chose Honora, who was 8 years old at the time, and brought her home to live with her and Anne's biological daughter, Elizabeth. She immediately renamed Honora to Jane and gave her last name Toppin. There was no final adoption documentation. What actually happened was she was sold to Anne Toppin to be a servant at 8 years of age. 8. Ruby's 8. Just to think of my daughter being sold into fucking servitude, that's fucked. You think that as an 8-year-old doing the housework, that would be difficult. But think back into the 1800s. They needed wood chopped for burning, for cooking and heat. They had to do laundry by hand, cooking every single thing from scratch and on a wood-burning stove. So, like, how fucking awful would that be?
Yeah.
Jane had her own room in the freezing attic, which was swelteringly hot in the summer as well. But she was just happy to have her own room.
Yeah.
As was typical of the time, the orphans were seen as a great opportunity to get cheap servants for the rich, wives of Boston. Jane's sister Delilah was also sold into servitude elsewhere until she was 18 and then released into the world. But unfortunately, as an adult, she fell into sex work and poverty, as you can imagine if you have no other option, and ended up abusing substances like her father and died. Which is tragic. In the late 1800s, the Irish Catholic faced rampant discrimination from Protestant Americans who thought they were diseased rodent criminals.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
They were like racist against the Irish. Boston was full of Irish immigrants and the locals hated it. So the Toppin family never let Jane forget her heritage because she was Irish. Meanwhile, on top of the backbreaking childhood labour, Jane attended public school alongside Elizabeth, and it didn't take too long before teachers discovered that Jane was very intelligent, which is saying something given her hectic start in life. So she must have been smart as fuck, because mix that with childhood trauma, you would think that she would struggle in school, but she didn't. When Elizabeth went out, Jane wasn't allowed to go with her to socialise. She had to stay home and do the housework, much like Cinderella. And Anne often reminded Jane where she came from in terms of her roots as an Irish person and rubbed it in her face that she was Irish, referring to her as a Paddy. When Elizabeth went out, Jane wasn't allowed to go with her to socialise. She had to stay home and do the housework, much like Cinderella. And Anne often reminded Jane where she came from in terms of her roots as an Irish person and rubbed it in her face that she was Irish, referring to her as a Paddy, which was a racist slur at the time. You fucking Paddy. That's not very nice, is it? A Paddy, as in like...
An Irish. Yeah.
I wonder where you get like Paddy from. Patrick. No.
Yeah, I know I've
Patrick.
heard people use that word before, but I can't exact definition.
Anne Toppin hated Jane's roots so much that when they were out and about, she intentionally made up lies as to where she had come from and how she became adopted by Anne, just to hide the fact that she was Irish. What's interesting about this is that later on we find out that Jane becomes a pathological liar. So she learnt that.
Yeah,
from
learned it from somewhere.
Adoptive mother.
Probably her sister too.
Yeah, maybe. Now, despite her unfortunate start in life, the emotional neglect, child labour and physical abuse from Anne, Jane developed what was said to be a rather gregarious personality. She was chirpy, joyful, pleasant, and also developed a talent for storytelling, aka lying. Her friends would say that she was a good girl, and if she was at a party, they wouldn't need to bring any other entertainment. She was enough.
How do they have all this stuff recorded? Like, how do they know her friends said this 100 and...
Because she became the most
40 years
notorious
ago.
serial killer. And
okay.
back then, the papers reported on a lot.
Right, because I'm thinking there's no text messages like Lucy Levy.
No, there's papers and interviews.
Right.
Yeah.
Newspapers, you mean?
Yep.
Like, say, okay. Every morning at 6 a.m. on the horse and carriage.
Yes, exactly right.
Gotcha.
Paper boy. Yep. Because they probably didn't have bicycles back then. I don't know.
I know, I don't think
Probably.
so. No, it was horses.
They just- yeah.
Horse only, horse and carriage.
Yeah.
And what, a newspaper?
Had they not invented the wheel back then? Probably not. Oh, no, the carriage. Okay.
Well, they started... So
Maybe they did have a bicycle.
they started working on cars, but the automobile was not a thing yet.
Until the 1900s.
I think earlier than that.
Yeah,
No,
maybe.
Earlier than
I don't know.
It's not important.
Anyway, this
It's
is late
interesting.
1800s anyway.
Yeah.
Despite how delightful she appeared to be in her young years, Jane's school friends would also say that she would make up the craziest lies and stick to them doggedly and maintain they were true, even if the truth was blatantly staring her friends in the face, proving Jane to be a liar. She would still be like, no, what I'm saying is true.
I know people like that.
Yeah, so essentially she would gaslight her friends, you know? Like if the truth is staring you in the face, someone will still maintain that it's not the truth.
Sounds like
That's
the
gaslighting.
classic. It sounds like the classic neglected child looking
Yeah.
for attention everywhere possible,
Yeah.
in any possible
Validation.
way.
Yeah. Some of these lies included that her father was a well-renowned sailor who lived in China. Her brother had fought against the Confederate in Gettysburg and was awarded a medal by President Lincoln.
Wow,
And
very specific.
Yeah, and that her sister's unbridled beauty had won the heart of an English lord. Iconic.
Wow,
Iconic.
but not her.
No,
She's
just her
not one
sisters.
anymore.
Yeah. From what we know, these lies served two purposes: to further fabricate the truth of her Irish heritage, as she had been taught to do by Anne Toppin and the world, I suppose, and to also compensate for her feelings of inadequacy put on by her race and childhood trauma. In her teen years, Jane became known as a vicious gossip in school, and her lies took a turn from the fantasy world to much more pointed and evil. She would tell lies to the principal about other classmates in order to get them into trouble. When she was caught out on this behaviour, she would blame it on someone else and make herself out to look like the victim, and this pattern of behaviour would follow her into her later years. So some
Sounds
seriously
like a
toxic
sociopath.
behaviour coming out, yeah. And people are picking up on it as well, as you do.
Of course they would.
Turns out Jane did fall in love once, or so it seems. Sometime in her teens, she met a boy by the name of Thomas Higgins. He was an Irish textile worker, and one way or another they fell in love. He proposed marriage to her. I'm thinking maybe just to get her in the sack, because after he proposed to her, he literally ghosted her. He proposed to her and then ghosted her, poor thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have no
1800
way
ghosting.
of being like, hello, what
Where
are
the
you
fuck
doing?
Are you? She obviously just sat by the fucking mailbox and waited for a letter. Like,
I wonder when that pigeon's going to arrive. Harry Potter's owl, maybe.
hell? Oh my God.
Messenger pigeon.
Just like drop a fucking note down the chimney.
How long does a postie take to do his rounds in the 18...
Yeah, no
60s?
idea. No fucking idea. As fast as the horse would go, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, it's a horse, isn't it?
She's probably sitting
They
there
must
thinking,
have had
maybe the horse has
satchels.
got colic.
Yeah, it broke its leg on the freeway going 100
freeway.
kilometres an hour.
100 horsepowers. I don't know. He disappeared from the face of the fucking earth, essentially. How typical
Easy
of man.
to do in the 1860s.
I mean, yeah, but how typical of men. Like, they've been doing it since the fucking 1800s and they continue to do it today, cunts. Anyway.
They've been doing it since before Christ.
Same goes in 2024 as it did in the 1800s. He found another fucking girl and he got engaged to her.
Where's he getting all these money for the rings? I want to know.
I don't think he's an Irish. He doesn't have much money.
Oh, true. He probably doesn't give him a ring. He probably gives him a fucking hair tie or something. Eh? You're
Hair
mine.
tie. I don't think hair ties existed in the
Yeah, that's too romantic too, isn't it?
So at this point, the story that I've basically described is kind of how the psychopath was born. And yes, Jane was diagnosed as a psychopathic narcissist later on in life. If ever there was an argument for nature versus nurture, just compare Jane Toppin to her sister Elizabeth, who got everything she ever wanted. I do think it's a combination of both, though, and then a sprinkle of something evil that results in psychopaths like Jane Toppin. Now, to add insult to injury, Anne Toppin would furiously beat Jane when she was upset with her, and this...
What the fuck?
Yeah. And this abuse served only to fuel Jane's hatred towards her and her daughter Elizabeth, who represented everything that she was not. Elizabeth was beautiful, kind, people loved her for who she was, and she got everything she needed from her mother. She basically made Jane feel inferior by just existing, which she hated. She wasn't necessarily horrible to her, the sister. Elizabeth was pretty decent to her, actually, from what I've read. It seemed that life taught Jane that what she enjoyed and what she felt safe doing was to feel superior like a typical narcissist. So she'd do that in any way possible. Sources say Jane longed to be loved and adored, similar to what she read in her storybooks and romantic novels, whilst at the same time she was unable to feel those feelings towards others, which left her unable to make genuine connections, with people, leading to her feeling jealous and hateful towards people like her adoptive sister, Elizabeth, who easily made those connections because she didn't have childhood trauma. She was beloved and all that. When Jane finished high school and turned 18, she was technically free to leave the Toppin house after she got her $50 or her new outfit. She was paid $50 as per the indented agreement between Anne and the orphanage. So basically she was severance paid. I don't know. But she didn't have anywhere to go. She didn't have any other family or friends. So she decided to stay on at the house for another 10 years. As their unpaid servant.
Oh, gosh.
What the fuck?
How depressing.
I know. Anne Toppin died, and when she did, the title of the house and everything in it went to Elizabeth and her new husband, Oramel. What a name. Oramel.
Is that one whole word?
His name is Oramel, yeah.
First.
Oramel. What an iconic name.
I wonder what his background is.
Yeah, I don't know. No idea. Probably not
Oramel.
Irish, I would say.
Or very Irish.
Oramel.
Oramel.
No, he's not Irish.
No, that's
No, they were
American.
racists. That family was racist, the Toppin family. They would never. And Anne got nothing in the will, obviously.
Wouldn't
really.
expect her to.
No, but she was devastated about it because as much as Anne hated Jane and treated her like shit, Anne was her only mother from 8 years of age. So she was like, you would think that she would get something, but nope, she was a servant, and that's how she saw her. Jane was offered to stay on as the help by Elizabeth after Anne died, and for a while Jane still chose to work under Elizabeth, even though she was insanely jealous of her and her husband's relationship and hated Elizabeth with all her being. Probably had something to do with having zero other options, I would say.
Yeah. She's resentful because she is stuck there.
She's stuck there. She's stuck as fuck. Stuck as fuck. Anyway, in 1885...
Stuck as a fuck in a duck? Like, stuck as a duck in a fuck?
Gosh, yeah, nice.
She's fucked.
She is fucked.
As you can see by
And
the
she will
fucking 10
continue to
years.
be fucked. Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God. How sad.
At the age of 30, Jane eventually moved out. 30 years of age, that's me.
That's in 2 years from now for me.
For you, yeah. There were limited jobs for women in the late 18th century, which is probably why she stayed with Elizabeth for as long as she did. The only jobs that you could get as a woman were teaching, being a seamstress or a factory worker. But later in the 1800s, there was also one other job that women could get. This job had a low barrier to entry and provided the kind of power that Jane craved in life over others, and that was to become a nurse. Mm-hmm. Dun, dun, dun. This is where our
So it begins.
This is where our tale turns healthcare.
Finally.
I know. We got there. Now, unlike today's nursing standards, the nursing profession in the early 1800s was manned by the most unsavoury of women. The bar was in hell, friends. For example, the wards of Bellevue Hospital were manned with former inmates of Blackwell Island Workhouse Prison.
And they were what, the matrons or something?
The nurses were inmates.
Okay.
That's what they were.
Got to do what you got to do.
Basically, women who were arrested for drunkenness or prostitution achieved parole on the achieved parole on the condition that they agreed to do a stint as a nurse with minimal training, much like community service. How fucked is that?
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Just chuck a couple of prisoners in there to fucking change the bedpans. Why not? Why not?
Fine.
It's shit kicker work. That's what it is. Thankfully, around the 1850s, they decided to educate nurses formally. I said nurses. Nurse. Thankfully, around the 1850s, they decided to educate nurses formally. So in
Still in the hospital. Though.
Yeah. So in 1887, Jane applied and was accepted into the prestigious nursing school connected to the Cambridge Hospital, which was one of the few teaching hospitals established after the legislation to formally train nurses had been passed. Jane left for nursing school, but not before Elizabeth made a point to say they will keep the room open for her, implying she will fail.
You can always come back, darling.
Yeah.
We've got space for you. Come back and we won't pay you. Work for us for free.
True. She was probably like, anytime you want to come back and do free labour.
Yeah.
Feel
We'll give
free.
you shit ass fucking food and
You can have a roof over your head.
boiling room in the cellar or whatever it was.
And treat you like dirt because you're an Irish woman.
But come back. We'll
please.
save the room for you.
Yeah. Learning to be a nurse in the 1800s included grueling 14-hour days, 7 days a week, interspersed with seminar classes and lessons from head nurses.
I need to
The
shut up
matrons.
and stop complaining about
The
10
matrons.
hours.
I know, 14-hour days plus classes. They learned how to give enemas, dress wounds, give medicine, and give baths. So there you go. Iconic. As you could imagine, hospitals were gross in the 1800s. Nurses...
Why are they giving enemas?
I don't know.
I want to know.
Obviously,
In the
enemas...
1860s?
Yeah.
For constipation.
Yeah, I don't know. Why do you give an enema?
Well, for many
Impacted bowel.
reasons. But
People in the 1800s had shit diets. I would assume they would get bowel obstructions.
how do they know they have a
Impacted
bowel
bowel.
obstruction or impaction, though?
Impaction, or you haven't shit for 10 days.
I guess so,
You can feel it like in your anus. Have you ever helped someone with an impacted bowel?
ANOOS. Your anus?
Anus? Have you ever helped someone with an impacted bowel? I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, I had a patient that had a fecal vomiting because he hadn't shit in 7 days or something.
Oh, that's horrendous.
Or 10 days. It was nice.
Oh, wow.
Should have been there.
Up the other end. I'm glad I wasn't, to be honest.
Yeah, that's just one of the patients.
I had a
a
patient
few.
that I had to digitally...
Don't
not
they
knowing
usually
what the
get
fuck
the
to do.
doctors to do the disinfections?
No.
Yes, they do.
Do they?
Yeah, they should.
Well,
He really didn't want to stick his finger up an ass.
Yeah, who does?
No one. That's why he gave you the job?
Yeah. They were like, go fucking disimpact a bowel, bitch.
What did it feel like?
Shit.
Was it solid?
Yeah, it was like...
Very hard?
How a constipated poo would feel. Have you ever disimpacted your own bowel?
Once.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Once. I can tell you
also
the
done it
story. This is when I was a grad nurse. I was getting ready to go out with colleagues for an event.
Okay.
Nice event.
And?
All the medical interns were leaving by the end of the year or something.
Okay.
This is on Chapel Street. Anyway, I was so constipated. Clearly.
And I wanted a skinny tummy.
Yeah. And I was so uncomfortable. And it was just pushing and just wouldn't come. Wouldn't come. So what did I do?
Stuck your finger up your ass, babe.
Bare fingers.
How many?
No gloves. 3?
3 fingers, babe.
I think I started with 2. And then I moved to 3.
Yeah, nice.
And then I got to the point where I was actually grabbing it and pulling it out of my ass.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. There's no living with an impacted bowel, friends.
I'm having flashbacks to the
I'm
exact
traumatized.
experience. I
Shit
remember
under your
like
fingernails.
literally holding my asshole open with my fingers to let the poop come out because it was...
Oh my God. But it like grabs to the inside of your fucking
know.
rectum and you're like,
And
I have to like get
I
round
know.
it. And, like,
Yes! Yes!
Yes.
And you know, like, I'm ready to go.
You've got the little fucking...
I'm ready to leave.
You've got the prairie dog sitting out of the prairie dog hole, but you've got to like get round and get its fat gut
Yeah,
to
you've got to
like
scoop.
get it out, you know?
Scoop and hook
Yeah.
and pull. Anyway, I was ready to go. I had my makeup, my hair done. I was dressed.
And she had her fingers up her ass.
Yes. And before you know it, I am like scrubbing my fingernails so hard.
Did you have false nails on?
No, because I once had false nails
And used
and I learnt my lesson.
sticking it up your finger.
Yeah.
Up your ass.
So, and having my period at the same time, trying to put a tampon in with these massive
Yeah, that's an experience.
talons.
Yeah.
Especially at your year 12 formal.
Yeah, just
your first time
use
ever
the nail.
wearing nails.
Just use the nail to poke it up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Should've
your
done
finger
that.
barely goes up there. We have digressed to the point of no return.
No, but I thought you would enjoy that
Yeah, no, that was good.
little story.
So-
and God, now that I've said that, if anyone that I've worked with listens to that,
They
hears
will.
that, and they know it was me, they see my face.
Did you stick your finger in anyone's face that night?
No, but I remember, like, I checked a few times throughout the night.
See if your
my
shit was coming.
fingers smelled or not still. Yeah, just do a subtle,
A quick
I'm
little...
good.
Okay,
I'll
we're
wash
good.
again.
Nice.
I've never been that constipated in my life. Luckily, it's only ever happened that one time.
We've all been
never
there, babe.
have.
We've
Really?
all been there.
Really,
I've
though?
digitally removed shit out of my ass, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, it's called constipation. Everyone gets it. Relax.
I really thought I was the only person.
I mean,
Not-
props to you for doing it before a night out. I think that's iconic.
I had to.
Did you feel better after?
Oh my God, I felt so
Did you have a
empty.
big like flow after?
Yes.
Like once the dam was broke?
Yes. Yes.
That's amazing.
Once the cement...
That would have felt so good.
The cement broke and came out.
The dam flooded. Love it.
Anyway, back to murder.
Enemas. Jane approached her work with a smile and a cheery disposition, which earned her a nickname. Jolly.
Let me guess. Jolly the Rancher.
Jolly. No. Jolly Jane.
Okay,
Jolly
sorry.
Jane. Less fancy. However, it was a nickname given to her by her co-workers out of jealousy or malice. The truth was that Jane thrived in this type of work because she was used to very poor treatment and back-breaking labour.
So now we've got the rumours
Yeah.
circulating like Angel of Death for Let Be.
Yep. Jane responded to the jealousy by outperforming her colleagues in every way, which is iconic, and I wish she stayed that iconic.
10 out
but
of
she
10
doesn't.
enemas was she
Yeah,
getting, hey?
pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
Pretty soon they started snitching on her for doing random things like drinking alcohol and leaving the ward without permission, because apparently that's a thing. Like, you couldn't leave the ward without permission, or else the matrons would fucking get you. And Jane responded with making up vicious rumours that got them fired. Eventually, her co-workers would become wary of her because of this. Jane handled it on her own, which is how life had taught her to do things, basically.
Let's just remember that she was raised from day dot by an alcoholic abusive man
Yeah.
who would have those first few years would have completely shaped her.
Yeah.
In a massive way.
100%.
Yeah. And this obviously, like, I can hear as you're telling the story, of course, that I can tell this coming out in her behaviours. And,
Yeah, you can see it, definitely. You can see how it happened. Despite the conflict with her co-workers, Jane's patients loved her, and if another nurse was assigned to them, they would ask for Jane instead. No wonder there's bad blood.
God, that would be hurtful.
I know. Doctors liked her too because she was always a step ahead of them and made their day more efficient, getting them things they needed and briefing them on details of patients. I suspect this was a strategic method of winning over the right people in order to fuck over the ones she hated, enabling her to behave how she liked.
What's her goal?
Yeah, she's like one of those brown-nosing Karens. She's morphing into a brown-nosing Karen nurse where they like suck up the doctors' asses and then treat the other nurses like shit.
Yeah.
Imagine if Jane harnessed her strengths for good. She had such potential to be an amazing nurse, an amazing person all round. She was intelligent, driven, resilient, and had a charming way about her. But there was also a sadistic, broken side to her that unfortunately took over and spoiled any potential that she had. During her time in this hospital, old habits die hard, and she continued with the nasty gossip, which, I mean, not uncommon in the nursing profession. She would have fit right in, eh? Despite the growing disdain from her co-workers, the doctors, her teachers and patients continued to adore her.
Yeah, because she's putting on her face. And
That's
she's
right.
sucking up and she's eating their diarrhea.
She's manipulative. Apparently part of this resentment from co-workers was also that Jane hated to work hard. So she was one of the lazy types of nurses who got ahead by brown-nosing to the right people, such as specific patients and higher-ups.
So she's not actually a hard worker.
No, but she's a good nurse.
Appearing to be
the
one
right people.
to the right people
Yep.
when it's convenient for her.
Yeah, she's one of those people who works hard when the fucking management's around but sits at the nurse's station and gossips when they've left for the night. She also continued with her far-out fantasy lies about her own life, and at one point had spread around the unit that the Tsar of Russia had employed her as a personal nurse for a far-out salary. I mean,
This
weird
reminds
flex.
me of one of my psych patients that I had about 10 years ago. It almost sounds like she's schizoaffective, schizotypal of some sort, because there's clearly
Delusions of grandeur.
delusions of grandeur.
Do you think? Or just pathological lying? 'Cause she's sane. She's not in a psychosis. She's methodically manipulating people.
You're right.
Yeah, you find out later.
But yeah, it's just got me thinking that I wonder, because, you know, those sorts of mental illnesses weren't even, schizophrenia didn't even exist back then. Of course it existed, but it
they
was
hadn't
not, they had no
figured
idea
it out yet.
it was a thing. Medicine was still really quite new in like the modern
You'll
way.
see later
modern
just
life.
all of the really interesting diagnoses that come up in her patients.
I've seen like all the old terminology that they used to use. It is so fascinating how different it is.
Yeah. She was also a fucking thief.
Really?
Yeah, she was a klepto. There were reports of various items and valuables going missing without explanation. Money, stationery, aprons, uniform. Because, of course, you'd steal a fucking apron.
I was about to say, is she stealing for money? But
Nah, probably for the hit it
The
gave
rush.
her. Yeah, yeah.
the rush.
She was suspected by her peers to have stolen all of them, but they couldn't prove it. Jane was very good at charming her accusers and getting out of trouble, or pinning it on someone else and getting them fired, as per her MO. Even though she was good at charming people, in time doctors and administrators became suspicious of Jane as well. On top of stealing from the hospital and patients, she was suspected of reporting false information about the patients, sending patients to other institutions without doctors' approval, and reporting false symptoms that resulted in patients receiving the wrong treatment and ultimately prolonging their illness, which is where her sadistic nature starts to appear. The primary reason that she got away with so much for so long was the patients. Again, they loved her. Patients loved her even if the love was one-sided. Jane had her favourites, but there were also patients she despised, especially if they were elderly and fussy. Let's face it, it's the majority of patients who are in hospital.
Yeah, especially the elderly ones. They're the most fussy
They're so
generally.
fussy. I get it, but that's like 90%.
Or the young men.
Yeah.
They're very fussy too.
Yeah, men.
Weird.
I wonder why.
Darling, want to cuddle? Want to support icy pole? Sorry.
Support icy bowl.
Support sticker.
Jane
Here's a
had
sticker. Sorry.
Shut the fuck up. At one point, she was overheard by her co-workers saying that old people should just die because there's no use for them. But Jane did have her favourite patients, typically the ones that adored her, as you could imagine, and it was hard for her to move on from them after they got discharged. Whilst in hospital, she would dote on them and tend to their every need, but when they got better and were eligible for discharge, she felt triggered and abandoned. She felt she deserved at least a thank you and a goodbye, which, no, babe, it's your fucking job. But when she didn't receive these things, that's when Jane decided she needed to take this matter into her own hands and started to figure out how she could keep the patients in longer. She started poking around the medical stock and experimenting with medicines.
We have a scientist on our hands.
We do, a mad one.
Fuck.
I know.
She's crazy.
Yeah, so like
She's
when
a
they
risk taker.
got better and left, she felt abandoned. So she was like, you know what? I'm going to make you more fucking sick.
This is like Munchausen's by proxy.
Except they're not her children.
Yeah, but like there's actually another condition, I don't know the name, that is similar. People deliberately making someone sick for attention. Like it's a real thing.
It's
but
different to Munchausen.
Yes, because that's specific to like the child.
The child, yeah.
I
I haven't heard it. Jane frequently started to give larger than normal doses of morphine and atropine
Tasty.
just to see what would happen. Each of these experiments were very methodical and very calculated. Jane admits later that during her residency at this particular hospital, she believed that she was responsible for at least 12 patient deaths, and each of those deaths were assumed to be part of a natural cause because of the particular combination of drugs she used that she perfected with her experiments. So people thought that these patients died of natural causes because it was the 1800s. And
She's just getting her cocktail right.
yeah, yep. So for those who don't know,
A little
morphine...
bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, literally.
Like a recipe. Experiment. She's
Yeah.
actually experimenting.
Yeah.
Just trying it out on humans.
Yep, pretty much.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying.
Yes. Atropine and morphine.
Yes, I know. I thought you'd find that interesting because we use those two drugs every day.
I do.
For those who don't know, morphine is a powerful opiate. It's used to treat moderate to severe pain. It's addictive, so doctors only prescribe it in dire or end-of-life circumstances or surgical circumstances. Overdose symptoms include slowed breathing, drowsiness, nausea, constipation, vomiting, seizures, and pinpoint pupils.
And death.
And death. Atropine, on the other hand, inhibits the parasympathetic nervous system. Your parasympathetic nervous system, in a nutshell, is responsible for relaxing your fight or flight response from your sympathetic nervous system and engages a rest and digest mode. Atropine is used today to treat certain types of pesticide poisonings and bradycardias or slow heart rates. I didn't know about the pesticide poisoning. I thought that was really interesting.
That's news to me.
Overdose symptoms include dilated pupils, fast, shallow breathing, muscle stiffness, diarrhea, and chest pain. So basically the total opposite symptoms to morphine. Atropine and morphine were readily available in the 1800s and sold over the counter.
How times have changed.
Insane, right? But how clever. She's fucking clever.
yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's good, but...
She's cancelling out each other's effects to make it look like
They
there's
didn't-
nothing really wrong.
Because the doctors would know the side effects of each, but mixed together, like it's a confusing set of symptoms.
It's like taking a depressant and a stimulant at the same time.
Exactly. Jane studied these drugs intently during her training. She was a very interested student. She asked her instructors all about the medication uses and took lots of notes.
Can I just say, Georgia?
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with this woman.
No.
Cut that bit out, maybe. But I think she
like I said
is
earlier, she's
smart.
brilliant. She's brilliant, and a lot of
Just use the
serial
wrong
killers are.
way. Yeah.
A lot of serial killers are brilliant, and that's not a bad thing to say. Like,
No.
it wasn't used for good. By the time that she completed her training and was working regular rostered shifts on the ward, Jane was already well into injecting patients with various substances, starting with morphine, because it was easy to access, and she could just inject more of it if she felt like it. I don't think discards were a thing back in the day.
No. And I imagine, so, morphine, what you get in 1 ml, 10 milligrams, that is such a tiny amount. You can just bloody even put that in a patient's mouth, for example, and it would affect them.
Which, spoiler alert, she does.
Oh, great. Well, break open the vial and
But she starts...
Don't even have to inject necessarily.
Before she even went with atropine, she started with little doses of morphine and just watched what would happen.
Yeah,
and gave it incrementally just to see what would happen. Yeah, so this is her experiments. Jane observed that when injected with small doses of morphine, the patients, or should I say victims, pupils would dilate, their breathing would get louder, and they would start to perspire. In larger doses, they would just slip into a coma, which she found dissatisfying. But the most satisfying part for Jane was when they suffered with violent convulsions, which is what atropine would bring on. So the more violent, the better.
So she's fucking with the parasympathetic and the sympathetic and making them fight against each other.
How horrible would that death be? Your body wouldn't know what the fuck was happening. When she would drug them, she would stand beside them to see what would happen and observe the effect it had on the patient. She watched and would sometimes fake comfort them, touch them, even caress them, whisper in their ear that everything was going to be okay. She also loved to watch them take their last breath. Psycho.
Reminds me of this show I watched
Sickening.
on Stan.
Which one?
This guy, he's a vet, and he basically is a angel of mercy. He acts as, and he goes around and sick people come to him that are dying, and they ask him to put them to sleep, and he uses his vet drugs to euthanize humans that are at the end of their life. It's hilarious.
Kind of like Dexter, like taking out the serial killers.
Yeah.
As a serial killer.
Yes, it's a great show. I think you might
interesting.
like.
What's it called?
Anyway, I'm trying to think what it's called
when
right
it comes
now.
to you.
Oh, it's called Why Women Kill.
Oh, that sounds iconic.
I think you would love it.
Oh, it sounds good. Sounds like
very
great.
good.
Anyway.
It's a great twist, great twist.
So
but
is
I
the
had
vet
a
a
point
woman?
with relating. No, it's the husband. He's a vet. And then the wife and she becomes a serial killer too,
She
basically.
coordinates it. Oh.
No.
no.
You'd have to watch it.
I'll watch it.
But it's great. Anyway, I had a point in relating that to what you just said.
But did you lose it?
Yeah.
It's the second time you've lost your
sorry.
thought today.
Because my thoughts are so long.
Yeah, and then you go
by the
off into
time I've
another
gotten
thought and
it
you're like,
all
oh,
out-
my last thought is actually gone.
Yeah.
Fuck.
By the time I've gotten it out, I've completely forgotten where I
That
started.
happens to me all the time.
You understand the struggle.
I get it. Jane soon starts mixing morphine with atropine to achieve the effects for her most desired kill. Atropine is derived from the belladonna plant. Also, I didn't know
really?
that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which is obviously a poisonous plant. Using poisons in medical care in the 1800s was not uncommon. For example, they used to regularly give strychnine, which was used in small doses to strengthen muscle contractions and improve performance enhancement. It is now known to be a highly toxic compound now found in rat poison.
Right, nice.
Strychnine.
And I'm pretty sure belladonna used to be used like the flower itself used to be used to poison and kill people.
Yeah.
And because it was like untraceable or something. So that's interesting that atropine random
Crazy,
fucking comes
right?
from belladonna.
Yeah, I know. Go off 1800s. How anyone survived that era, I have no idea.
My God, yeah.
No idea.
And then you hear those people that go, I kind of wish I lived in the olden days.
no, you don't, bitch.
Maybe the 1960s or 70s and above would have been okay, but the 1860s, I don't think it would have been that fun.
Each era has its
Especially
trials and
as a
tribulations.
female.
Yeah. When Jane gave overdoses of atropine, it would make patients twitch with muscle spasms, lose coordination, and induce hallucinations. This is in overdose.
Yeah.
They were observed by Jane to pick invisible things out of the air. She discovered that when mixed with morphine, it was very difficult to determine cause of death because they produced a very confusing presentation of symptoms for 1800 doctors. And then toxicology wasn't a thing back then.
No.
Jane eventually began to poison patients to the point where they would overdose and die. Disturbingly, also around this time, she seems to have developed a sexual fetish around watching patients die at her hand. I know.
Okay.
Hold for comment.
Okay.
The words that she would use to describe watching people die from drug overdoses would be delirious enjoyment, voluptuous delight, and the greatest conceivable pleasure. That's basically old-timey speak for she got off. Jane later admits herself the kills gave her sexual thrill. So she was not only a psychopathic narcissist, she was also a sexual sadist. Crazy.
And she's open about this?
Yeah, because she's batshit insane. You'll find out. Due to her ability to charm the right people in the late 1888, Jane Toppin landed a job at the Massachusetts General Hospital. She got a job at Mass Gen.
Great.
One of the top hospitals in the world at the time, and it's still one of the top hospitals.
That is true.
She was able to continue her education with some of the top doctors in the country, which she would later rely on for references, and she would get them. Some people, however, initially didn't want to hire her, not because of the numerous rumours going around about her conduct, but because she was Irish, and the head nurse was a racist. Fucking racists, man. Ugh. But like everyone else, she charmed them and made it through her probation period without trouble. She even had so impressed the administrators that she stepped in for the nurse in charge when she went on a brief leave of absence just weeks after her probation was up. Like, that's how fucking charismatic she was.
Yeah, they have like put their faith in this woman purely because of the words coming out of her stupid mouth.
Yeah. But she's not stupid.
Yeah.
She's fucking smart, which is terrifying. Yeah. While Jane may have fooled the higher-ups, her peers continued to label her as a self-promoting liar who continuously disparaged the efforts of her colleagues while taking credit for their hard work herself. Sounds like the typical Karen, nurse Karen. And they weren't wrong. She was again responsible for shit going missing, incorrect information being entered in the charts, records being falsified, and so on. She just fucking kept going. In time, Jane became reckless with her misconduct as a nurse, and others began noticing that she was dispensing improper doses of medication, putting patients at significant risk. Despite this, no one thought or believed that a nurse in a world-class medical facility would actively be murdering patients. Like, serial killers weren't a thing in those days, and they didn't think of women as being violent at all. So whilst people had their suspicions, she was up to something, they did nothing because that didn't even enter their minds.
Why didn't they think she was hysterical?
Yeah.
What happened there? They didn't go, she's hysterical. Go to the asylum.
It's her uterus making her crazy. There is documented evidence that many patients did indeed die unexpectedly under Jane's care at this time. It's unclear how many of these were murders because, again, in the 1800s, many people would go into hospital and never come out because it was the 1800s. Infection was rampant.
A hospital is the last place you would want to be when you are sick, let alone if you already have an infection.
You are very unlikely to come out of hospital. And that's how she managed to kill for so long because people were like, oh, they died. One particular patient was admitted for uterine cancer and was experiencing painful uterine ulcers which were actively bleeding. She had undergone a procedure which involved cauterizing the ulcers with silver nitrate whilst the student nurses watched.
Oh, they use silver nitrate these days as well,
they?
but only like on the
under
cervix
anaesthesia
and stuff. Yes. Yeah.
God,
it makes you want to put your fucking vagina lips together. Yeah, like.
Don't go anywhere near my uterine ulcers with your silver nitrate.
How would they have done it, is my question. Did they go
via the vagina.
Through the stomach?
Oh, I think they did, actually.
Because they're not doing laparoscopic.
No, I think it was an open procedure. The evening following... Yeah, I know. What? How fucked?
Going into the uterus.
Burning the ulcers. Just take the fucking uterus out. Maybe it was transvaginally, because you would just take the fucking uterus out, wouldn't you?
I really wonder, how the fuck did they even do surgery back then?
But no, babies. That's a woman's purpose. So they wouldn't take the uterus out.
Yeah, true, they can't. It's too precious.
The evening following the procedure, she was in a great deal of pain, as you could imagine, and reported that she was having difficulty sleeping due to her pain. She looked up at some point in the middle of the night and realised someone was also in her room with her. Picture an old-timey hospital room, zero electricity, only lit by lamps, and someone standing in the corner of the room. Creepy. She called out to who she assumed was a nurse, and she was right, and the visitor eventually lit a lamp and revealed herself to be Jane. How creepy. She just lights a fucking oil lamp and be like, it's me. Oh my God.
You would feel like death's already arrived at your doorstep.
It had. Relieved, the patient asked Jane for a doctor because she was in severe pain, because nurses don't do anything. Only doctors do. That carries on today, doesn't it? Jane said there's no need for that. I have something to help you feel better. Uh-oh. She handed her a glass of liquid to drink. This is where the oral morphine comes in. Within minutes, the patient's body began growing numb. Her pain eased and her throat went dry as she slid into a slow unconscious. But before she passed out completely, she felt the covers pull back and the bed creak as Jane climbed into bed with her. Ooh. Creepy. She recalls Jane caressing her, stroking her hair, kissing her face.
Ew!
And whispering.
Sorry.
And whispering.
I don't want to hear it.
You have to. Everything would be all right.
No, you're sexually assaulting my ears. Don't tell me.
The patient then felt the glass pressed to her lips again, but resisted, using the last of her strength to clamp her jaw shut as Jane tried to give her more of the liquid. Then all of a sudden, and luckily for the patient, Jane jumped out of the bed and exited the room like something had startled her. For years, this patient had thought it was a dream until she saw that Jane eventually got arrested and realised it was real. Fucking hell. She came close to death, that one. How gross, right?
I feel
Dirty. It's disgusting. It's foul. It's so bad.
Hey, I'm just going to climb into bed with you.
Oh,
Like, what the fuck? See? That's my reaction.
I just got a visual.
See? Sorry.
I'm nauseated. Sorry, we just had a little bit of a vaginal emergency, didn't we?
Super serious
All
Olivia
these
incoming.
All these fucking hysterics that we're in as women.
And my phone died.
The phone died.
I'll have to stay here tonight.
It's fine.
Sorry, I can't get home now.
Fine. Olivia thought she had a little vaginal gush and that she was also bleeding, because I am too.
Yes,
and I think
we
we're
sink.
cycling. We are sinking.
We do.
We are. We're spending a lot of time together with the pot. So I think we've sunk.
Yes.
It wasn't the experiments or the, murder and sexual assault that got her kicked out of Mass Gen. It was actually her laziness and caustic personality. Although Jane had managed to charm the higher-ups, their character references weren't enough to shut up all of the complaints from the co-workers and the rumours flying around of things going missing in the hospital supplies, including a diamond ring from a patient and money from a cash box. Mm-hmm. So in 1890, Mass Gen conspired to get rid of Jane. They couldn't fire her for the thefts without evidence, so they fired her for leaving the ward without permission. They got her.
Oh my!
Yeah, they got her on a technicality. Jane was fired just before she completed her diploma, and so she never received her nursing license. Burn.
Harsh.
What a burn. Because of this, I think Mass Gen felt bad, and they did make a point to send her off with glowing references. What the fuck? Fire someone because you suspect that they're thieving and there's horrible rumours going around about her, but give her glowing references because you feel bad. Weird. Blows my mind. That's how good of a con artist she was, though. Jane didn't give a flying fuck about being fired or not getting a nursing licence, and took her glowing references and spent a year providing private in-home nursing services to rich families, allowing her to collect even more references, which then allowed her to regain her previous employment at Cambridge Hospital.
Did she steal from any of these private families?
Yeah, I reckon so.
I would think so. That's probably why she went for them.
I mean,
Get in the door of a rich person's house.
it's crazy. She got a job back at the
piece
place
of
that she
jewellery.
started without a nursing licence.
Wow. Times were fucked back then.
1800s. Anyway, it wasn't long before she began to fall back into those old nasty habits, from gossip, theft to murder. This time, she let her distaste for her co-workers blend with her fondness for experimenting and murder. Bum. 19-year-old Maddie Davis was a nursing trainee at Cambridge Hospital, and one particular shift she fell ill. So during her break, she laid down to rest for a spell and was tended to by none other than Nurse Toppin. At one point, Jane gave her some medication, which caused Maddie to fall into a sudden and violent collapse at work. She was ultimately saved by a doctor who was passing by and intervened. The doctor never suspected that she was intentionally poisoned, and neither did Maddie, the victim. But there was one doctor who was very suspicious of Jane after several of his patients had died under her watch. Sounds like Lucy Letby, doesn't it?
A lot of this does.
I know. He reported her to the hospital administration, and after coupling it with all of the issues she had with her co-workers and things going missing again, she was yet again fired from Cambridge Hospital in 1891. And that is where our tale will end for part 1.
Okay.
What are your thoughts about Jane Toppin,
I'm very interested.
aka
I'm very
Honora
intrigued.
Kelly? Honora Kelly,
I'm impressed.
born of Kelly the Crack
I'm impressed.
and raised by Ann Toppin.
If I was going to be a murderer,
That's how I would originate.
this is,
Like, totally. Ridiculous.
this should be a Netflix show.
I know. It doesn't
This
sound
is
real.
way cooler than a lot of the other stuff that they bloody put on that platform.
It doesn't sound real.
No.
And they should do a film on Jane
you
Toppin. I don't think they have done it, but there's like podcast after podcast about Jane Toppin.
Wow.
Yeah, she's fucking famous. Crazy. But yeah, I would definitely turn out a murderer if I had those. Oh, but at the end of the day, there's so many people who have had neglected upbringings, gone through countless abuse, and didn't end up a murderer. So it's no excuse. It's
Neither
just
of us are murderers, are we?
nature versus nurture. Anyway, thanks for joining us for part 1 on Jane Toppin. Make ssure you tune in next week for part 2 because it just gets wilder. It gets even more insane.
She's a sick fuck.
She was a sick fuck. She's been dead 100 years, but
she's still a sick fuck in her grave.
yeah.
But from what she's done, oh my God, disgusting.
But she's said to have killed like hundreds of people.
I would think so.
Yeah. They don't know of all of them though, but she's rumoured to have killed so many. And that's why she's the most notorious or the most prolific of her time. Like Lucy. There's definitely some parallels between Lucy and old Jane-O.
Some, yes.
Yeah. Well, tune in next week. Check out our Instagram. Send us an email. All of the details will be in the description. And we will see you next week. Make sure you get your Christmas trees up, y'all. Have you got your Christmas tree up?
We don't even own one.
Oh. Are you going to
Well, actually, I think we do. Yeah, we should.
I'm a slut for Christmas. My Christmas tree's already up, isn't it?
And Halloween.
It's a real ass Christmas tree. And it smells delicious.
Yeah, every year you go and buy a fresh one, don't you?
Yeah. Oh my God.
One.
Side note. I got attacked by a spider this morning that came out of the Christmas tree that we cut down on the weekend.
Well, pissed off. You've taken its home away.
It fucking attacked me. It got on my steering wheel. It was very, very, very fucking dangerous. I was doing the school run and I was dropping the children off and this fucking spider just appeared out of nowhere on my dashboard and then jumped onto the fucking steering wheel and like made it impossible for me to fucking turn the steering wheel, and then it fucking bungee jumped off the steering wheel with its fucking string that comes out of its assholes or whatever, and then like landed on my leg and then came back up and I almost crashed the fucking car. And then it sat on the fucking steering wheel and I turned the steering wheel to turn and then I touched it and I jumped and then it fell down the car crack underneath the seat. And then it appeared later after I dropped the kids off. Hunter's, all the while, Hunter's yelling at me to fucking focus on the road. And obviously, but there's a spider attacking me. Like,
Hunter's so cute.
He's just like, it's just a fucking spider. I'm
Mum,
like,
drive safe.
yeah, I'm trying. Like, oh, here's me trying not to have a fucking panic attack while I'm driving, trying to hold my hands away from the spider on the steering wheel. Like, what am I supposed to do? I should have flicked it. I should have fucking... Yeah, but I didn't. And then it disappeared under the seat. I dropped the kids off and assumed it was gone forever because I sort of kind of squashed it with my finger on the steering wheel, which was horrible. Ugh. And then on the way home, it appeared again on my dashboard. So I pulled over, put it on a fucking receipt and flicked it out the window.
Ah, yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
How big? So not big.
Not big at all. It was this little like lime green fuzzy. It was quite cute, but it was attacking me. So
Was it a jumping spider?
well, it fucking definitely jumped.
I know a lot of them jump, but the jumping spiders really jump.
Yeah, it definitely was agile, little fucker.
They were my favourite spiders as a kid. Believe it or not, I used to
saved
like
it for you.
insects.
Yeah.
I hate insects now. But when I was a kid, I loved ants. I loved spiders. I loved ladybugs. I would capture all the
Ladybugs are
ladybugs
fine.
on our pumpkin patch that we had growing out the back in our garden.
Nice.
Because we had a whole vegetable garden and fruit trees and stuff. Oh, life was different 28 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
And anyway, what was my fucking point?
Again.
Third time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Anyway.
My favourite insects. I fucking hate them now. There was a spider that was about 1 millimeter big on our bed a couple of nights ago. It was just started
Staring
crawling.
at you.
No, it was just, but it was just like, it just crawled right next to me and it was so fast.
Yeah.
So tiny and
It's
so
the
fast.
speed that gets you.
Yeah, and I fucking,
It gives you the ick.
yeah. This thing, it's smaller than like an eyebrow.
Life itself.
It's smaller than a chin hair. Let's go with that. Like,
I get some pretty fucking big chin hairs.
okay, it's smaller than my chin hairs.
I have one that grows parallel to my face and I don't realise it because of that. Like it goes out and then up and then it
Gotta pluck at an angle.
Yeah, well, you can straighten it. It just grows that way. I don't know why.
You want to straighten it, do you?
You could if you really tried.
You could also probably curl it.
I also get one
Curling
random
iron.
chest hair that is quite long.
I have a random nipple hair. I've had it for years.
I've got multiple nipple hairs.
Nice.
So sexy.
It's like it's one, and then it comes back.
It's
After you pluck
satisfying
it
to
out,
pluck.
Comes back again. Just one. My whole life. No, ever since I was like fucking 12.
Wow. Nice.
It is, but I'd prefer not to have it.
What's its name?
Patricia.
Nipella? Areola.
Oh, yes, perfect.
Ariel.
What was that man's name before? Or Merrill?
Oh, Oramel.
Oramel?
Oramel.
We need to come up with something stupid like that.
I feel like we shit talked way too much.
Anyway. Isn't that most podcasts,
Yes,
though?
it is.
Isn't that what makes them personable
Appealing?
for people?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. True.
Because this is what I would listen to.
Shit talking about nipple hairs.
Just a conversation.
And impacted bowels and fingers up asses.
Yes. Because who else can I talk about that stuff with, though?
Except the entire world.
Yeah.
Slay.
Yeah, but I can't see them.
Yeah, it just
Thank
feels
the
like
Lord.
we're in a room, which we are.
We are. And we're all alone.
Except for that one pigeon.
The pigeon. And that
She
fucking...
just said that, looked around, and this pigeon just majestically landed on the fucking fence. Anyway.
We've also got some sort of like fly. But it's been nice. It's been very respectful. It's been really quiet this whole time that we have
can
been
exist
recording.
in our space if you don't jump, run, or make a buzzing noise.
That's
or
why
bark.
I didn't say anything about it. Because he's been very
He deserves
respectful.
he deserves to live. I
Yeah.
see.
All right. Now,
Anyway,
that's probably enough shit talking.
I have a burp.
Okay, we're not finished with the shit talking.
There we go.
Don't have a fart, though.
Oh, never mind. Just been killing myself laughing at the burping shit hanging out of ass line last week. Oh my
Such a
god.
good story.
Oh, I've just editing that podcast was so good. Anyway, Nellie's barking. All right.
I never got to hear the end of that story growing up.
Can we see the picture? Can you send it to us?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't spoken to my parents for 2 years, but
Oh.
sure. I'll ask them.
Like, hey, how
you
are
got
you?
this very
What have you been
specific
doing
photo?
for two years? Quick question. Can I have a picture of the shit hanging out of my asshole? It's for a podcast. You should tune in.
You know what it would be on though? My dad's old camcorder with the flip out and you hold it
my
up to your
God,
eye
that's
with the
so
hand
90s.
strap. He's still got it. It still works.
We need that footage. We just simply do. You need to sacrifice your mental health to get that footage for us.
Let me channel into my dad's.
Just be like, hey, send it to the nurseratchetpodcast@gmail.com. All right, I have to go get the children now, so we need to sign out.
I have to fight peak hour traffic
Yeah,
for the
you
next
do.
hour and a half.
Have fun with that.
The whole M80's closed. Not the whole, most of it. The point, it's closed because I couldn't get on it. Anyway.
No shit.
Okay, good thing we're finishing up because clearly my brain's imploded.
Yeah.
Because I know what to expect for the next hour and a half.
Until next week, stay out of traffic, guys, and keep it ratchet. Yeah. Okay, bye. Say goodbye.
420 blaze it. Do you love my fairy pins?